So the PlayStation Showcase happened and Remedy revealed a new trailer for Alan Wake 2. There's also more information on the website. It's a sizable info dump, and some of it does raise concern for me. Let's start with the trailer. First of all, the graphics are great. I know that at the end of the day, gameplay is more important. I just wanted to say that since it seems that more recent games have started to drop the ball graphics-wise, but having ever-increasing hardware requirements. Anyway, we open with a monologue from Alan describing his situation in the dark place that has been going on for over a decade now. The B-roll for this intro is what I think is a murder of a woman. More on that plot point later. We then cut to a scene with two FBI agents. One looks all too familiar, and the other one raises some concern since they are a playable character throughout the story as well as being the diversity hire. Let's be honest, Remedy just wants to boost their ESG score with this character. I'm also a little concerned that she'll steal a good portion of the story, and thus make it less about the namesake of the game, Alan frickin' Wake. Her name is Saga Anderson, and according to the website, she's an experienced FBI agent who's known for solving nearly impossible cases. She's been assigned a case in Bright Falls involving repeated murders like the one we see at the very beginning. Alan's situation is somehow intertwined with her case. I'm sure it will make sense once you play the game. Back to the other FBI agent, he literally is Max Payne from the first game in 2001, using Sam Lake's face and James McCaffrey's voice. It's odd to see in this game, but there is a reason for it. I'm not certain about this, but I think it's supposed to be Alex Casey, a fictional character that Alan himself created, and, spoiler alert, eventually killed off because he was tired of writing that series of books. So perhaps Alan wrote him into existence in the real world so he could possibly save him from the dark place. Just conjecture. But I just can't help but think it's uncanny. I mean, Sam Lake's face looks so much worse in the game than the other actors for some reason. There's also this added layer of Inception where Max Payne was Remedy's first game, played an appearance by its own writer. Then nearly a decade later, they make a game about a writer who wrote a series that essentially parodies Max Payne, and now that character is an important part of another story, played by the exact same people. I don't know about everyone else, but it's a bit confusing to me. And who knows, maybe this is going to be the same model they used for the Max Payne remake. Moving on, we get some very tiny tidbits of gameplay. This annoys me, like why can't you show the person at least defeat a single enemy? Whatever. The gameplay does look oddly reminiscent of the Resident Evil remakes, more so than the original Alan Wake, but of course there were comparisons to be made between that game and Resident Evil at the time. On a different note, light doesn't appear to have as much of an impact on enemies, though we really didn't get to see any classic flashlight against shadows action, despite the fact that there were a few clips with shadows, though we do get to see Saga shining a flashlight directly into the face of some sort of monster. In the final scene, it appears that Saga has saved Alan, or something like that, I don't know, but Alan is shocked to say the least. Oh yeah, and the game comes out October 17th. I think most of us expected it to be earlier since they said the game was finished other than patching out bugs since last October, but better late than never. Moving on, let's check out some of the information the website offers. The new promotional art is pretty cool and is the first thing you see, with Alan being front and center as he should be. The contrast between the bleak green and the scarlet forest is a pretty solid choice. Anyway, on a more important info, there are pre-order bonuses. Yay. The revolver skin looks cool. The only problem is that this is a third-person game, so you won't really be able to get a good look at it in-game. We have some new screenshots, and once again, the game looks very good. There are a few parts explaining the background of the game, but we don't need that, right? There's also a frequently asked questions page that I wanted to touch on. Some are obvious, but I just wanted to read some of the more standout questions. Do I need to play the original Alan Wake to understand Alan Wake 2? This is a sequel, but set up as a standalone experience. Newcomers can enjoy the thrill ride with no past knowledge. For the returning fans, there are tons of lore and connections to be discovered. I personally think it's a good thing that people don't need to play the original, but I definitely think they should. It's a classic whether you like it or not, with very solid gameplay and story. Moving on. Why is Alan Wake 2 a digital-only release? Okay, pause. I didn't know that this was going to be digital only, and at first I was a little disappointed since I was thinking of getting a copy for Xbox, but they do justify it pretty well here, and there is more reason to buy it on digital this way. To summarize, Remedy understands that game discs have become more useless than ever. Not only do less people buy them, but ever since the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 days, there isn't actually anything on the disc. Yeah, it's blank for the most part, and all it really does is let your console know that it's okay to download from the online store, but only let you play it when the disc is in. Because of the lack of physical copies, they were able to sell the game for $49.99 on PC and $59.99 on consoles. Both platforms get to save $10, though it is unfortunate that the console edition is more expensive because of the hidden next-gen upgrade, in quotation marks, of course. They also stated that there are no plans to ever release on disc. There's also a deluxe edition that includes an expansion pass and a handful of cosmetics. The only thing I care about is the expansion pass, to be honest. It will include 2 expansions named Night Springs and Lake House. Both of these sound like callbacks to the first game, with Night Springs being the in-game version of the Twilight Zone, and the Lake House referring to the house on Cauldron Lake that started it all. The deluxe edition is $79.99 on PC and $89.99 on consoles. Last question. Will Alan Wake 2 have post-launch support? Yes, we will be supporting Alan Wake 2 with both free content as well as 2 expansions. I wonder what the free content could be. Maybe some horde mode like American Nightmare perhaps. I hope it isn't going to be some live service for single player. Well, that's pretty much everything here. Once again, I am very excited to play this game and possibly review it on the channel when it comes out. This has been my most anticipated game for a while now, and it's finally coming to fruition. I'm sorry about the lack of uploads as well, but I have like 5 certified hood classics in the making, and all of them are taking a long time to make. But in the meantime, like and subscribe for more crap like this video.